In 1988, the National Film Board of Canada released a 7-minute animated short about a man trying to get rid of a cat. It went on to be nominated for an Oscar. That's right, we almost beat Pixar to the punch with an accordion and a body count. That's the Canadian way. This is The Cat Came Back, and it is deranged in the best kind of way. Here's the basic premise. Old Mr. Johnson finds a stray cat on his doorstep. He doesn't want it, so he tries to get rid of it. But no matter what he does, drop it off, mail it away, tie it to dynamite, the fucking cat keeps coming back. And that's it. That's the whole plot. Well, thanks for coming by. If you asked me to describe the vibe here, I'd say it's like if Looney Tunes really did have a girlfriend you couldn't meet because, she lives in Canada. This would be her. Except maybe loonier. The film was directed by Cordell Barker, who also voiced Mr. Johnson and animated most of it by hand on a budget of like a liquor store run. It was funded by the NFB and it was animated in Winnipeg. That's right, the cultural capital of Manitoba gave us the most murderous feline in animation history. Barker actually got the gig after submitting some sample animation to the NFB, because back then, you could just do something like that. His original pitch was rejected, but someone in the Winnipeg office liked his work so much that they asked if he had any other ideas. And one of those ideas? A violent cartoon about a man being mentally and physically destroyed by a cat. Even though it's only 7 minutes long, The Cat Came Back was a glimpse of where animation was headed. It was nominated for an Oscar in 1989, but lost to a little Pixar short called Tin Toy, the one that eventually evolved into Toy Story. So basically, this cat walked so Woody could run. This was also part of the NFB's golden age of animation, when the government was quietly funding some of the weirdest, most experimental cartoons on the planet. In fact, the NFB had already won an Oscar for animation back in 1977 with The Sandcastle, and Norman McLaren's work was legendary by this point. So The Cat Came Back wasn't an outlier, but rather part of a long Canadian tradition of deeply weird, artist-driven shorts being shown to elementary school kids who were not okay afterward. On the surface, it's slapstick chaos. But dig a little deeper and you start to wonder, why is Mr. Johnson so determined to get rid of the cat? What does the cat represent? Regret? Repression? Canada's relationship with the French? Also, is it just me, or is this a little too relatable to be a kid's cartoon? Like, what we're really watching here is midlife ennui in its purest form. A man haunted by something he didn't ask for, can't escape, and increasingly destroys himself trying to control. It's less Woody and Buzz, more existential Spiral and a cat. This cartoon is Canadian chaos at its finest. It's got heart, horror, hand-drawn charm, and a soundtrack that will live rent-free in your brain forever. I give it 4 out of 5 toques. Would I watch it again? Probably. Would I adopt the cat? Maybe. But more importantly, what would an American think? Let's call my buddy Sammy and find out. Sammy the fucking bull. How are you, sir? All right. Judging from your expression, looks like you did your homework and watched the film. So, what'd you think?
You know what? Nice to see you, man. However, why in this film are we killing so many people on a train track in so many different ways? It's supposed to be about adopting a cat. What the hell, man?
It's a fair question. Well, what if I told you that this was nominated for an Academy Award? What would you say to that?
Say that's highly improbable.
It
Does
was
not seem that
actually.
way.
Yeah, it actually lost out to the short film from Pixar that would ultimately become Toy Story.
No
So,
shit. Wow. That's
true
pretty
story.
good. I guess losing second place to Pixar's Toy Story, prequel is pretty good. Also, it was the 80s, so everybody had to be like high on fucking cocaine or something like that, I'm sure. They were like, "This film is amazing." Also, we're Canadian.
So, are you familiar with the NFB?
No. Tell me about the NFB. What is that?
So, the NFB is a government program and an archive that promoted Canadian film through funding. And
So this is
this film,
government controlled films? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
yes, actually,
Wow.
this was funded by the Canadian government. What do you
Well,
think of that?
I think we're one step away from a Bolshevik revolution, my good sir. That's.
Was this a good use of our tax dollars?
I'm sure, I'm sure every Canadian in the 80s definitely thought it was. Like, we're going to beat out Pixar big time. Screw those Americans. We got this old dude trying to get rid of a cat.
What do you think the cat represents?
Oh, gosh. Wow. Now, that's a good question. See, now, you're going to get a little deep there. The cat could, I mean, if you gotta watch the whole thing, right? So this cat follows him all the way through death, ultimately. So, and then he's trying to get rid of it. So it's probably regret or like something deeper like that. Who knows? Like, I'm sure the filmmakers were like, we just want to make a funny film about a guy trying to get away from a psychotic cat. Or I mean, like the cat's. Yeah, I mean, actually, this cat was psychotic. It literally tore up everything in the entire house.
Yeah.
So, did not have a good personality. Cat people would know. There's certain cats that have good personalities and some that do not. This one did not. So, maybe it was, I don't know, it could have been representative of something like that, or they were just like, we're just going to make a psychotic cat that wants to kill this guy and drive him nuts. Could have been
in
as
the
simple
show, I
as
talk
that.
about, I call it perhaps a representation of midlife ennui.
Mm,
A man destroying himself to get away from something he didn't ask for in the first place.
right? That's what midlife crisis is all about, right? So you get to that point in your life, you're like, wow, I did not plan on being where I'm at right now. I'm gonna go buy a Ferrari and drive it off of a cliff,
Or get a cat.
or get this insane cat. At first though, he like took the cat in and he was like, nice kitty, and then when he's like, oh god, wait a minute, this cat's destroying my entire house. Then he took drastic measures to get rid of that cat. Which could represent the buying of the Ferrari and then just divorcing your old life and trying to go into something else. Which ultimately ends up killing you in a cocaine-infused 1980s disco ballroom. Who knows? That could be it. That could be the entire premise. I think we figured it out.
Well, would you say that this is your introduction to Canadian filmmaking?
Yeah, other than a couple of Rick Moranis films back in the day, yeah, this is
Sure.
basically it right here. Yeah, the old Canadian Bacon and other classics that did make it to mainstream media, but this is purely Canadian government propaganda for how to have a midlife crisis.
So you're saying it's a training film?
Hey, if you want to take your life in a whole different direction, here you go. Get a Canadian cat because they're the worst. Was that a jab at Canadians? Nah, just Canadian cats.
Canadian cats are a different breed.
They are. Got a little mountain lion in them.
Would you be up for watching another?
Let's do it, man. Let's get another Canadian film into my brain that I can never get rid of. It just runs and reruns.
Well, I'm going to apologize in advance.
Ah, good. Thank God. That sounds like we're already on a fun trip here.
Okay, so let's give it a rating. I gave it 4 out of 5 toques.
Toques,
how many?
okay.
So, on a scale of 1 to 5 bald eagles, what would you give it?
Let's see. Bald eagles are predators, so this would probably be right up their alley. We're gonna go with 4.5 bald eagles.
4.5.
In my opinion. Yeah, wow. Sure. We got death and violence. We got comedy. You got all the great things about these cartoons in the first place. The Bugs Bunnies, the Elmer Fuds, all that happening. I mean, it's an era piece. It almost beat out Pixar. Come on. And to top it all off, the Canadian government funded everything. How about that? Socialism's finest.
Well, sir, I do appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah,
so
no
much,
problem, buddy.
man.
If you're enjoying the show so far, smash that like button like it's your younger self's hopes and dreams. And subscribe for more weird, wonderful Canadian film history. All right, I'll see you in the next one.